When you think about putting the woman first, what does that look like in a healthy relationship?
What is it that I'm gonna get from my woman that I get from putting her first that I couldn't get from putting her fifth?
You're gonna feel peace, you're gonna feel that reflected in your home. I think that obedience, that is just a weird line to be using. That is weird. That is something we use in school. You know, that's like your wife gotta raise her hand to ask.
I'm not saying you're not allowed to question it. If you are an obedient, submissive wife, you're gonna do whatever he said anyway.
So if you want a robot, get a robot.
But you don't do that to your boss.
You know, girl, it's been a minute. You know, I miss you so much. You know you mean the world to me, girl. You know I love you so much, bro.
And hey guys, and welcome back to the Black Love Clubhouse. You guys, I'm so excited for today's topic. As you know, the past couple of weeks has been very spicy. And yeah, just really spicy crime. But today I wanted to talk about a different topic. I wanted to talk about why it is important, or why is it crucial to put that woman first. So I definitely want to hear the guys on what they say. All around like this whole week, Jaheim has been playing in Prime's head.
Put that woman first.
And so yeah, but welcome back. I'm so excited that you guys are here. Thank you all for tuning in, and let's go.
So they brought this up to me. I wasn't a part of this. Matter of fact, I got on my Bahamas shirt. Since logic is going out of the window with this conversation, I figure I'd dress for a vacation.
Wow, that's crazy. But I want to know this, right? When you think about, I want to know from your perspective, when you think about putting the woman first, what does that look like in a healthy relationship?
As the married person on the panel, what would you say that looks like, Mr. Richard Roots?
First of all, I want to say that I don't think your marriage could work if you don't have your priorities in order. So, in a healthy relationship, if that woman is being put first, the woman feels valued. And if that woman feels valued, then she makes you feel valued. I'm not saying that she has to feel valued to make you feel valued. I would say it's a nice incentive. So it's a whole lot easier because we know our women are resilient. Our women will love us through the worst. Mm-hmm. But when we're giving them the best, they can really love us. We create an atmosphere that's conducive for them to love us. You know, so I mean, I'm for putting women first.
Wow.
Gotta have your priorities in order.
Wow. Okay. This man decided he was going to protect his marriage. I understand it.
Oh, no.
I ain't mad at it.
No. This is not about protecting my marriage. This is about protecting everybody's marriage.
All right. Well, fair enough. So let me ask you a question. What is it that I'm going to get from my woman that I get from putting her first that I couldn't get from putting her fifth?
Ooh. Emotional stability.
What are you talking about?
So
wait. Why is she gonna give me emotional stability?
No. You're not gonna get that. You give her that.
So I can't do that. Why do I have to put her first to do that?
Because if you don't put her first, then she feels like she's not. So you know what's the song? What does it take to be number one? Because nobody remembers three. So two is not a winner. Three, nobody remembers.
Yeah.
So you put her any other place but first, then she doesn't feel secure. Because she's always going to feel like you're going to leave her for whatever's in front of that.
Yeah.
Okay. And so your argument is that if she feels secure in the fact that you won't leave her, you're going to get the best out of her. Is that what you're saying?
I see where you could go with that.
Or can I play you a different song? What did the famous musician say? Oh, you not the only one trying to be the only one.
No, what musician said that?
Drake.
He went to Drake. Out of all people Aga Prime.
Bruh,
Right?
I love how he made that sound like it was just like
It was
this
like somebody who's
guy,
been
you know, like this
married
honorable
for 40 years.
musician.
But it's Drake.
It's
That's cute.
yeah.
I'm just saying, we can look at the before when Drake made this statement and look at him now versus when Jaheim made his statement and what he looks like now.
Now.
Okay, wait.
No.
Oh,
So,
you're right.
Do
You're
you
right.
have an image? Can you pull up what Drake look like? I mean Drake.
Jaheim.
what Jaheim look like now? Can you pull it up? If not, I could. We can go around it.
But so, all right. Now, this is the thing is, if we want to go to the Jaheim level, right? Now, let's go over his lyrics, right?
Here we go.
Right? Because I think there was something you missed.
Everybody missed.
Oh, okay.
All right.
We missed. All right.
So he was saying, let's go with this the second part, the first verse, right? The second part of it. It said, if it wasn't for the 9 to 5 double up overtime, yeah, I could remember. If it wasn't for the Sunday All-Star weekend game, girl, I could remember. And if it wasn't for the dough getting 50 G's a show, girl, you know that I could remember. But silly me, oh, tell me how could I ever forget to be a lover, right? So he said, now I realize that you need love too. Spend my life making up to you. Oh, girl, I forgot to be your lover. So Jaheim,
He never put that woman first.
he never put her first. That was the issue, which is why he was like, I should have put her first because I didn't put her first. And now I'm seeing the repercussions of not putting her first. So that is the gist of the whole story.
Also, so the image of Jaheim.
Mm-hmm.
So the image of him, he actually explained why he looked like that. So he was first off, so he has a heart condition.
Mm-hmm.
So Jaheim actually went on a fruit diet to actually try to heal himself. Oh, there he is right there. So he tried to do a natural healing. That's why he lost so much weight. But I don't know if you have it, Aaron, but I did see you, I sent you a more recent picture of him when he picked that weight back up. You know, and there he is there. So he looks a whole lot more healthy now. Now, the only thing people could do is talk about, you know, his hair loss.
Well, I mean, y'all didn't ask him if he still put that woman first.
But
Yeah, well,
so the reason, if he would have put the woman first, he would have had her
but look,
like to take care of him. But
I mean, he don't look bad if he's putting the woman first. He don't look bad, so I mean, we can take that argument out the window.
Hold on. So, we gonna let the... All right. It's hard to even deal with all of this at once. Y'all acting like y'all just don't know women. Like, y'all act like women ain't out here cheating on some of the most sweet, thoughtful, caring, considerate, would worship the ground these women walk on, and they cheating on them with a bum.
Yeah, so I'm not.
That's not
so
everyone.
I don't think none of us say that. I agree with you, Prime. That is happening, but
Ain't that the definition of putting her first?
no. So that's inevitable. You know what I'm saying?
If you treat her really good, she gonna cheat on you?
So what's the solution? The solution is not to go into the relationship making the woman feel like they're less than, because let me say this first. There is a portion of men
Right.
who come into a relationship and they prioritize everything before their wives.
Okay.
And their wives in the meantime is feeling like they're not seen.
Mm-hmm.
They're not heard.
Right.
And that emotional, that mental doesn't matter to their husband.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to encourage men to keep that in mind. And I'm trying to encourage men and let men know, if you tend to that woman's emotional needs and you prioritize that woman, you're going to get the best version of that woman.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's not always the case.
Right.
That's not all. I'm not pleading for that being always the case. If it's not the case, then maybe you need to make some arrangements. That's all I'm saying. But if it is the case, you can thank me later.
All right. You kind of dodged my question earlier, so I'm gonna bring it back. Can you name me one thing that I can get out of my woman that I can't get putting her 5 as opposed to 1?
So you can get. I didn't dodge it. I
answered
answered it.
it.
I answered it, but I
You said emotional stability.
It wasn't fair. It wasn't fair to you. I mean, it wasn't what you were looking for.
Well,
What could you get?
yeah, like what do I get out of that?
So
Not what I do.
the reason why I say it wasn't acceptable to you. That's acceptable with me as a man. I love if my wife is emotionally stable. Because I know that she's gonna do everything that she do even better. So from how could it benefit you as a man? As anybody as a man?
Yeah. Like, I mean, I can't say I disagree with that because that's a personal thing, but it seemed like that bar is a little low.
So so you're asking about what you receive, right?
Right.
Well, I think you're going to receive a whole lot of peace first off, for one, because now she doesn't have to nag you about not being put first. You're going to feel peace. You're going to feel that reflected in your home when you come in. You're gonna get all that, and for a man, that is a lot.
But you make it sound like nagging was an option in the first place.
Well, nagging is gonna be an option if you don't put her first and she feels neglected.
No, she gonna be single.
Probably because she upped and left you.
Right. So that's
fine. That's still that's still good for me.
That's the thing too. You're saying if she nags you, she'll be single.
Right.
We're telling you that what you can do is you can put her first, and then you will get all of those valuable things that you want out of a woman. But you're saying, you know what? If she's not fine with being fifth place, then she can leave.
Okay. You know what? Let's approach this from a different subject, a different area. Y'all gonna like this. So in that song, you mentioned if I wasn't working this 9 to 5, I would have remembered. If I wasn't doing these shows, being famous, living the dream.
An all-star.
Why You Love Me, being an all-star.
No,
I would remember. If I wasn't making 50 grand a week or however much, I would have time to remember. What is she doing in this time that he's obviously busy that's worth putting her first?
What? First of all, why would you, the thought process is, why would you marry somebody you wouldn't want to put first? Why would you marry somebody?
You can't change my question to validate yours. You got to answer my question first. What's the benefit of putting you first? Because from what it sounds like, that's more work for me.
So maybe she was working as he was doing those things. He doesn't mention that, so we can't like hypothetically speak of what was she doing. She probably was working. Maybe she was at home taking care of the kids. So why not put her first, especially if she's at home taking care of your kids? Why?
Well, I mean, one of them's named Jaheim. The other one, we don't know her name.
So if you look at putting your wife first as work, then you're saying it wrong. Like, what do you imagine? What do you think putting your wife looks like? Putting your wife first looks like?
It sounds like putting her on a pedestal. It sounds like being her emotional, cushion to either lift her up or to catch her when she fall.
Not a pedestal. A pedestal, you can handicap that person. That's not what I'm saying.
Then why would I put her first?
But why wouldn't you want to catch her if she fell? Because I'm pretty sure if it was reversed, she'll catch you when you fall too.
I mean, it's okay. You know what? That might have been too extreme of an example. But my point is that I don't want to be like an emotional whipping boy. And that's what that sounds like. I gotta stabilize your emotions. I need to balance you out. That's kind of crazy.
I think that is the job of the man. He helps.
But that's got to be my first priority.
But
like, I'm not saying that stuff don't matter. I'm just saying first, like before purpose, before God, before the bag, I got to put you first.
So it's
so when we let's get this straight. When we say put the woman first, in no one's wildest imagination are we trying to say put that woman before God.
Okay, so that means she got to be at least second.
So when we say put her first, we're talking about your relationships with humans on this earth, not with God.
Okay, fair enough.
So we
In
talking about
relations
putting
with
God-
relationships with
we
humans.
talking about in relations with humans and
Okay.
everything that you do on this earth.
So everything
Other
that I
than-
do on this
Other
earth.
than your religious obligations, because I know you're about to say like praying and meditation, which is good. Put that first.
So she go before my purpose?
No, you know what? Let me rephrase that. When you put God first, I think you're putting that woman first. Because that woman that your meditation, your prayer times, all of that stuff makes you a better man for that woman. You see what I'm saying? So when I go to the gym,
See,
and
man,
I
you
work
giving her
out,
too much credit.
when I work that 9 to 5, with all of this stuff, if my wife is on my mind, if my family is on my mind, then I'm putting them first, right?
So, yes, by you improving yourself, you are better for all of those other people. Mm-hmm. I also don't necessarily think, I don't think that also means you're doing it for them. I just think that is a good consequence of you doing it.
No.
Like, you're improving yourself for the world. Like, you need to be a better person. But as a consequence of that, the people under your covering benefit from you being better. So my argument to this is, and the whole only thing, I'm not advocating that we don't treat women well. That's not what I'm saying at all. My argument is over the idea that I'm putting you first. What does that actually mean? Because I can't put you above the purpose.
So you remember,
I can't put you above taking care of the family.
Okay, if I could say this. So no one's saying to put it above like your purpose or, but at the same time, if you do treat the woman correctly and make sure that, she's emotionally well and she feels secure, then she's only going to help you catapult towards your purpose a whole lot faster than what you can do alone. If you put her before your family, what is going to happen is that she's going to be able to take your family to new heights because she feels seen, she feels heard, she's at peace with herself, she feels good, she's energized, she does not feel neglected, she's not overwhelmed, she's not overstimulated. So that means she can raise the kids 10 times better. Most women can't raise their kids better because they're always overstimulated, they're always overwhelmed. So it returns out into frustration and anger and resentment. But if a woman is well taken care of and we're noticing like, hey, you know what? You need a break. Take a break. Get yourself together. Calm down. I got this. That's a form of putting her first. You seeing that she's overwhelmed. Even if sometimes your plate is full, it's like, then she's like, okay, you know what? Step back. She comes back in stronger. She can take care of the kids real better. In return, she can take care of you better. So she's taking care of the home better. So that's the difference. If the woman is overstimulated and overwhelmed, then she's not going to take care of herself better, and she's not going to take care of the family, and in return, everything's going to be in shambles. So.
yeah, so we don't, I think sometimes men, we think that we put our career and all of this stuff before women. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say this. Sometimes we think that's beneficial, but when I put my career at the top of my list, then that means when my wife needs me, I'm not available. But if I put my wife first, sometimes it could look like I'm putting my career first because I'm always working, but I'm always available because in my mind, I'm doing this for her. So if I'm doing this for her, if I'm doing this for the family, then at any moment where this job is inconveniencing our relationship or what our goals is for the family, then I would go to the table and I would sit down and I would discuss. I would think over it, I would pray over it, and I would discuss it with my wife what my new plans are, so that I can better accommodate what our family needs. Mm-hmm. Because the problem that could come from this is I can put that career first, mm-hmm. and then I can lose everything that I love dearly.
Okay.
And that's what I think Jaheim. That's what Jaheim was experiencing. He said in this, it's funny that everybody thinks that he put the woman first. When you really listen to the lyrics, he's like, I didn't put her first.
No, I mean, I've heard
And then
the song.
he's talking about all the things that the woman was doing. She got phone numbers in her purse and all of this stuff, because he didn't put her first. So the woman felt insecure. And when I say insecure, I mean she felt like she wasn't secure in this relationship. So because she felt like she wasn't secure in this relationship, she started entertaining other voices. For some women, that look like women looking for jobs. So for some women, it looks like women looking for other houses. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? She's slowly packing her stuff up and getting up out the house. And you not even realizing she checked out because you so wrapped up into work. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying, like, putting a woman first don't mean that we putting ourselves in the grave. Because we as men at the end of the day, we still got to be logical. We still got to make logical decisions. So me putting my wife first don't necessarily mean that I'm bending to every emotional cry that she has. Because some emotional cries that she has is just an emotional cry. But I do hear her. I do hear her out. So I'm going to hear what she's saying, but I'm going to work on my communication so that I can relate to her, look, baby, look, I hear what you're saying. You want a bigger house, but I don't think we really need a bigger house. You know what I'm saying? But let's say this. And I know that sounds, I know a lot of men, we hate that. When our women want all of these materialistic things. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But let's just say I ignore her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I never express to her because she's thinking like out of her emotions. So she's thinking, we can afford a bigger house. We got it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But in my mind, I'm thinking, no, we don't have it. We don't have it because we saving up for expense. We saving up for emergencies and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So if I don't communicate that to her, her hurt is real. It's valid. It's valid.
Okay.
Until I open up and I say something, all of this stuff is putting that woman first.
Yeah. Definitely.
I don't know. I guess maybe you know what? We've just gotten so lax that we don't actually look for submission anymore. We definitely don't even approach obedience.
Now, see, that's interesting that you say that because I believe if a man puts a woman first, at the least he should expect submission from that woman.
But you're not even getting obedience. You have to explain why you can't afford a house you can't afford.
Well, so...
Or she is hurt. So
it is not a explanation. Is that like, now I'm doing too much now? It's like the explanation is the explanation. I think anybody, if, is owed the explanation or understanding, especially if the opportunity is given and it presents itself. So it's like, I think you are coming from almost as if it's like a position of hurt from like a person.
You're not about to ask me who hurt me, are you?
No, I'm not about to ask you who hurt you, but I'm saying it's like that's how, because if it's a good woman, first of all, let's go back to the submission.
What is a good woman? Let's start there.
If a man is a good leader, and a good leader is going to put their employees first, they're going to put whoever they're leading first, because that whoever they're leading is who is going to help them get to where they need to ultimately be. Right? So if you're going to put them first and you're going to take care of them, it's going to be easy for them to follow you because they know that, one, we're well taken care of, and it's going to be easy. It's not even submission. It's just a flow, right? But if not, then yeah, they're going to question, well, you sure? But even if somebody questions something, that doesn't mean disobedience. Like,
kind of does.
No, it doesn't. If my kids ask me something, that doesn't mean they're disobeying me. They just want to know.
Not if they ask you a question, but if you say, go do this, and they say, why, that's disobedience.
But why are you telling a woman or your wife, go do this?
Well, are you being obedient or are you not?
We're not dogs.
That's not.
That's how it's coming off of you.
Leslie Ann King said, what is obedience to you, Prime?
Obedience is just what the word sounds. It's doing what is asked or requested of you, whether or not you want to do it.
Okay, but people can still.
No, don't
That's
misinterpret.
a robot.
I'm not advocating that a man never explains it to you. I'm arguing against you feeling entitled to that explanation. I don't feel like you're entitled to it. I don't think you
But
need it.
that is
Because
weird.
that's not obedient.
No,
That is not submission.
First, obedience. I think that obedience. That is just a weird line to be using. That is weird. That is something we use in school. You know, that's like your wife got to raise her hand to ask a question. I don't
go too dark on me. Don't go too dark on me.
Well, because you said don't question.
Well, no. Don't go too dark on me. I'm not saying you're not allowed to question it. What I'm saying is that you feeling entitled to that explanation is the problem. Now, you can ask that question. It's on him whether or not he's going to answer that question right now.
Yeah.
But whether he answers your question or not, if you are an obedient, submissive wife, you're going to do whatever he said anyway. Now, if he's a good husband, for whatever reason he didn't give you that explanation then, he's going to give it to you later because he understands you need it. I'm not saying that you don't matter or that we shouldn't speak to that point. What I'm saying is that cannot be the top priority because you cannot be both first and obedient and submissive to me. That don't make sense.
No, so you can. So if my wife is obedient and submissive to me, what stops her from being first? I don't get it.
Well, so basically, you have to be going somewhere. So if your focus is on her, where are you guys going?
Are you saying where the destination is
Yeah,
first?
where's your destination?
You're saying the destination is first.
Yes.
So
You got to be leading her somewhere. That means she can't be first.
am I missing something?
But-
I don't get that logic. I don't get that. I don't get that line
understand
of
how
reasoning.
you can't. You could lead them, but they still can.
So
It's like I think you thinking of like first above all things again. It's like no, that's not.
Or I guess I'm trying to get you guys to explain to me what you mean when you say put her first.
okay, let me explain. I don't do this often, but I'm gonna do a biblical approach this time. So the woman to me is like the earth,
Okay.
right? So
Oh, I don't know if you're gonna like this analogy, but go ahead. I'm rocking with you.
God gave Adam dominion over the earth, right? So, and I've shared this with you many of times.
Yes, you have.
What does that dominion looks like? That dominion looks like Adam was given to serve the earth. So much so that if he didn't serve the earth, he dies.
Correct.
Because the very thing that he was given dominion of was the thing that was going to sustain his life.
Correct.
So if in order for him to eat, he had to take care of the earth. Right? So that's what dominion looks like, biblically.
Right.
Same for the kings, all throughout the Bible. That's what dominion looks like.
Right.
So if we are given as leaders over our wives, then that means that our wives, if our wives are like the earth, as I explained, that means that if we're not getting what we want from our wives,
Right.
it means that we didn't put in what we needed to in order for them to present back to us.
Not necessarily.
Yes, necessarily.
Let me add to your analogy a little bit.
Go ahead.
It could be you're not getting what you want because you're overwatering the plants. It could be you are too cautious of the creatures and you're not letting them deal with their own sort of prey-hunter relationships, so you're overpopulating, destroying the ecosystems. It could be a situation you planted this in the wrong spot, is getting too much sun. So the question isn't always, are you doing enough? Dominion means understanding that sometimes you can do too much, and that is just as bad, if not worse.
Hey, I agree, but that makes you a bad leader.
No, it doesn't. It makes you a leader. Understanding that just because A leader understands that just because you want it doesn't mean it's best for you. It also doesn't mean I'm gonna get the best out of you by doing it.
No. So
by giving it to you.
So this is the thing.
That's why they don't pay you your full salary up front.
This is the thing. If I pick this soil, this selection of soil, I picked it because I said this soil is fruitful. It has enough nutrition to flourish what I need to flourish, right?
Correct.
So if I pick this soil and year after year, I overwater that soil and they don't produce the crop that I'm expecting,
right?
Does that make me a bad leader?
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
But that's what you're advocating for, is my point.
So
you're advocating for putting her first, which what I am arguing is overwatering the plant.
No. So this is what, let me explain this. What I'm advocating for is you pick your soil. This is your soil. So you pick that soil. You say this is good soil. So you need to prioritize that soil. I didn't say overwater that soil. If you overwater that soil, I mentioned earlier that if my wife starts saying we need a house, and I realize it's not good for us to get a house right now, don't get the house, but explain to her why it's not a good idea for us to get the house right now. Overwatering her will be getting that house. So next thing you know, next year, all of our finances are terrible, and now we're homeless. That's a bad leader.
I agree.
I'm not saying that. I'm not advocating for that. What I'm advocating is that you put that woman first. So when you wake up, you looking at that soil, like my wife is checking on that watermelon plant that she planted. You looking at that soil, you inspecting that crop, that watermelon, for her analogy, you're inspecting that watermelon. You're looking to see if there's any bugs on it that's trying to take the life out of it. You're making sure the soil is happy. You're making sure that soil is happy. You're making sure that there's enough water.
How do you make sure it's happy?
That it's full of nutrients. That's how you make sure it's happy.
It sounds like this is a lot of work. And I don't think a garden takes this much work.
A garden does take that much work.
It does.
It does.
It literally does.
A marriage takes that much work. So I'm reading this book, and it's really, really good. I think I mentioned it in the last show.
Us?
Yes. And a lot of times, so what I hear a lot from you, I hear a lot of basically me statements.
Me statements?
Yeah, you're like, what about my purpose? What about, my this and my that? Like, but the thing is, putting her first is putting you guys above just the me. It's like putting us above the me. So it's like everything that you do is going to be for y'all, not for me, because it's like it's no longer your purpose. It's like it's everyone together. We're all doing this together, and it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of effort. It's not you putting yourself last or anything like that. It's literally just it's just being intentional on how you love her, how you prioritize her needs while y'all building together. Because when you do those things, she's only going to come back and reciprocate that to you. She's only going to give that back in. She's only going to pour back into you. If you are a good leader and you are a good man, it will be foolish of a woman not to. Now, if a woman does not, you miss the red flags in the beginning. So that's a you problem. Again, that falls back on you because she's been like that. Or maybe you didn't put her first for so long that she had checked out. And that goes to the things of what you were saying earlier. Now, she's getting a job. What? I want to work. Or, it's just these small, subtle changes that are happening because, I was not put first. And right now on TikTok, there is an argument going around about trad wives and stuff like that, and why women should never depend on a man solely for anything because that man can up and leave. And a lot of your conversation of what you're telling me, it sounds just like those women who said, I ain't depending on a man for nothing because
Oh, well, don't try to put me in no independent woman category.
No,
I have not once said I was independent.
No, it's not, but it's the mindset that you're giving us right now is basically
They're acting like me, is what you're saying.
No, they're not acting like you. It's what the women are afraid of. Because that's the type of man that would be like, well, bye, or I'm going to the next one, so they don't feel secure. So right now, that is like a lot of talk. So there's a lot of women that are saying things like, oh, I'm gonna always keep my own money. I'm always gonna keep a job or whatever.
So
yeah.
I wanted to add to that. So that we reading the same book, and one thing he said in the book was that our brains search every 4 seconds for safety, right? So I did an individual study on it too, and I looked it up to see where he get his sources from.
Right.
So neuroscientists did actually do research showing that humans' brains is wired to constantly scan the environment for threats. On average, our brains check for safety every 4 seconds.
Right.
Especially in women. So women brains are way more complex in that area, in that arena, when it comes to searching for safety.
I agree.
That's why they have security high on the priority list.
100%, I agree.
So that's what I'm saying. Like when we don't put them first, or when we don't prioritize our women, their minds are checking every 4 seconds for safety. That's why they're thinking, oh, he must be out cheating. Oh, he's doing this, he's doing that, he's doing this, because we're not making them feel secure.
It sounds like she got free time.
What? She sounds like she got free time.
It sounds like she got free time.
So if she was working, if she was busy,
if she was serving me during that period, she wouldn't have time to think about that.
If she was
and in the times that she's serving me, that she does think like that, I'm there to take care of her.
So look, I want to say this. I want to establish this. So everything that we're saying is really not specifically for you. There are some men out there,
right,
who do not cherish their women, and there are men who don't prioritize their women.
That's true, but I think that I don't think that the size of men who are just hurt or disrespectful and don't care about their women is a big portion. I don't think that accounts for the majority of men. You talk to a lot of men. I talk to plenty of men too. That is not the majority of men. So I would argue that is less the problem most often. So why am I going to speak to that?
Now, I'm going to say this.
I don't think that I do believe it can definitely be an issue. Just because it's not the guys that you're running into doesn't mean it's not an issue. The guys that you're not running to is probably because you're never going up to talk to them. But it is definitely an issue when that many people can get on social media and say, I too have been in that position. I too have been in that position. It is a growing problem of women not being put first. If these women are saying, my husband up and left me after I stayed home with all of our kids for X amount of years. I have no job experience. I'm going into the work field and I have to work at the Dollar Tree.
And she was perfect that whole time. Like she met every single one of his needs. She did absolutely everything she could for that marriage.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, let's not act like the 92%
thing.
thing.
Will never meet 100% of all your needs. If you're looking for a dog, get a dog. If you're looking for a robot, get a robot. But if you're looking for someone to cherish and someone that can build you up and you build them up and you can build a life together, then get a wife. But if you want a robot, get a robot because they will serve you 100%. They will never talk back to you. They will never challenge you. But if a woman does not feel secure, because if a man is like that, then she does not feel secure and she will challenge your emotions. She will challenge what you're saying. And she has every right to, because she is a human being and that is how we think logically. So if you want a robot, get a robot.
But you don't do that to your boss.
You can ask your boss. You feel like you can ask your boss those things, but that's not bringing the boss conversation into a conversation where we should mutually both have respect and understanding. So it's just a thing.
I'm not saying that you're wrong, Prime. But what I'm saying is,
kind of sounds like it.
What I'm saying is, I think you're embellishing the numbers.
I'm embellishing the numbers.
You're embellishing the numbers. There are a lot of women who are reporting that them men just ain't doing stuff. I mean, you got a lot of men who just come home after work while their wife is working too, and they just sit down and they play the video game. I'm not saying that this is all men, but let's just say that's 5% of the men.
Right.
Should we address it as the Black Love Club?
As opposed to the other 85?
We do that every week. 2 times a week. 5%.
So we're addressing the 5%.
I don't even think it's a 5%, really. I think it's a lot of men that's dogs out there.
So you think it's more than 5%?
I think it's more than 5% because every woman that I've ever been with looked at me like I was the best man in the world because the men before me were trash. And you probably had the same experience. But
I'm not sure.
But I know a lot of my brothers had the same experience.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron, you probably had the same experience.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all couldn't see Aaron, but he nodded his head. So there is a large percentage of men who are trash. And we can't advocate for these men because they never gonna grow up to be men.
But the numbers don't support this argument.
I want to speak to somebody in the comments, right?
Well, I was gonna say the numbers don't support the argument because as I mentioned before, women only find about 20% of men attractive. So that other 80%, they don't register as options.
No, okay.
So a good portion of these men don't come up in this study, is what I'm saying. They wasn't getting picked to begin with. So when I say the average man is not involved in this equation, that's what I'm saying.
No.
Of the men that they find as options and they go pick, those same men who can go and get other women, yeah, there's some dogs in there. I'm not saying that that's not true. But there's a whole bunch of other men who would have done what they asked them to do. They just don't appeal to them. Yeah. And so we can't act like all men are acting like this. That's my whole argument.
No, nobody said all men.
No one said all men. First of all, this is why women love when they see a good man, and that's why a lot of women keep their relationship under wraps when they do have a great man. Now, like I said, I seen a post. And I'm open to understanding everybody's side. I'm open to understanding what she's been through, why she disagrees and everything. But if there is a post and it has 100K views and on the comments there are women that are sharing their hearts and how they too have been in that situation, should I ignore those women? And you can't say, oh, well, was she meeting a man 100% of his needs? That's just weird. Nobody's going to meet 100% of your needs. You gotta meet half of your needs yourself because some things you can only do internally. Now, if you're thinking of just like, is she picking up your clothes? I don't know what the needs are.
Fair enough.
It's like, it's just, you can do things yourself too. So it's just like, if I can't ignore these women's argument that they have been through this situation. If it resonates with that many women, there is an issue. That means men are not. There are a lot of men out here that are not treating their wives right. After a woman has given birth to that many kids, it's heartbreaking to see that this man just walked out and left this woman while she has to take care of these kids. He barely comes to see his kids, and she has to hold the full responsibility of that while going get a job at Dollar Tree. That is heartbreaking.
That was also a consequence of her actions.
No, because before she had a business, a thriving business, she let that go because that man said, well, I want to be able to take care of you. And that woman submitted. She was obedient, okay? And
then how she get divorced?
She followed his lead, and after X amount of years, he found somebody younger and hotter.
Okay.
No. There is several. No, you can't dismiss the stories of these women.
I'm just saying that is not.
So the problem with that is we can feed into women's trauma. We really don't know what went on in that relationship.
We don't know.
That's my argument. Is we don't know.
We really don't know what went on in that relationship.
But is it right?
Wait. Let me.
I'm
finish,
sorry.
please.
That's true.
So there's been multiple times where I've taken women's sides, and then I hear the rest of the story. Even like one of the biggest ones with the brick face lady.
Yeah.
When that lady told her side of the story, I was all in. What'd you say?
What's the story?
Okay, the brick face lady. So everybody, Y'all should know about this story.
Yeah, I remember.
So this woman, she went around saying that black men was no good, but black women are unprotected. She was hit in the face with a brick, and these men stood around and watched her. So, long story short, I defended this woman, and I talked about the men. I was like, "This is disgusting." If I was around there, I would have stood up for this woman. But then I was given counsel from my wife and from my friends, my brothers, that said, "Nah, man, you shouldn't do that if you don't know that woman," which was wise. I understand. That's a long story. So, truth is, that never happened.
Right. She made it all up.
She had an allergic reaction, and she used that to become famous. You know what I'm saying? So, but me and my wife, we had a big argument about that because I'm like, it's in my nature to protect women. You know what I'm saying? And her and my brother, they talked to me, and I heard another woman say, maybe it was my wife. She was like, "You my husband. If they want protection, they need to get married."
I agree.
And I agree. So I'm saying, like, we can't allow these stories to feed other people's traumas.
I completely
agree. And that's
agree.
what happens all the time.
Right. Because, to the point about social media, there's also a growing number of reels and posts, Richard Roots, I've shared a lot of these with you, of women saying that they left their good husbands because just being married is difficult. The man did everything right. He was a provider. He was a good family man. He was honest. He was faithful. He didn't do nothing wrong to them. Just after so many years, they just want to experience a different kind of life. So what do we talk about then? Or did he just pick a bad one?
Sometimes it is that situation,
but
sometimes it is that situation. Sometimes people see the sign. Just like
so why can't it be? What so is she didn't pick a bad one? So is she picked a bad one too?
But I remember last time you said that the man was supposed to choose the woman, but
no, the man is supposed to choose the woman. Okay. I agree.
All right, so. But at the same time, if she was doing, a lot of times, a lot of men, I feel like they used the argument, well, she wasn't doing what maybe she was supposed to do. Maybe she was overstimulated. She had 5 kids. Gosh, she's at home with those 5 kids all day.
You're making an argument for that second wife. No, go on, sis.
No, because at the same time, you can end up with a basket full of wives that are no good too. So it's like.
So you saying because I picked a bad wife the first time, my second one's gonna be bad too?
I definitely, they definitely can, but because it's all about your picking, and most of the time we pick the same type of.
She's not saying your next wife gonna be bad.
That's kind of what it sounds like.
She's gonna be good. She's gonna be good.
But I do believe if there's that many, of course there could be some women that it could have been different. But at the same time, if it's that many women, and all of them are not making a post, some of them are just in the comments. So all of them not looking for fame, fortune, or attention, or whatever we can say. But some women are just telling their story because they're like, well, if I could tell my story, then maybe I can make some money.
Because women like the trauma bond.
I don't have to work at Taco Bell.
Y'all like the trauma bond.
No, because, hey, social media is a great way to make money. So we can't always think about, sometimes it's like, dang, you know what, maybe I just have to be a little more vulnerable. And because obviously this is working for other people, so women try it. I can't blame those women if that's what they need money for. You want them to do that, or you want them to get an OnlyFans?
I want them to get a job.
They do have a job. They're working at Taco Bell because they've been.
You know what? I'll give you one that's a lot easier. You know what it is? Stay with your husband.
The husband left them.
So what were they doing? That the man who signed up to stay with you until you died gave up before you died.
But you make it.
Dude, same way you trying to.
The other side of the story, because statistics leave good women. They don't. Even when they cheat on their wives. So if that man left that woman, I think this man, because of statistics, because of the, I think that man's story should be heard.
Yeah, we could hear his story, and in his story, probably understand how he stopped they're not coming out. Of course, they're not going to. Men are not just going to do that. But I'm saying, in the room, we probably will hear a lot of examples of how he stopped putting her first, and he just kept giving her all these babies, and she kept going. First of all, postpartum
Why you think he
lasted
left
for
her?
X amount of years. Probably because she was very hormonal, right? And he didn't understand how to properly navigate that, and he didn't understand how to properly make sure that his wife was, prioritizing his life. And he felt like, oh, this is overwhelming. Let me go find someone else. Yes, that can happen. But like I said,
Now you see the problem. You really put this man on trial with no evidence, and this is what happens all the time. This is why this feud between black men and black women are so relevant on the internet.
wow.
That man didn't say anything. He didn't get an opportunity to express. But men don't do that. Even if the man was right, men typically don't get on the internet and say, "Well, this is what really happened."
Well,
Because
yeah.
nobody gonna listen anyway.
Yeah, but women, women, they will listen. They might like dissect it, but at the same time, I do feel like women, we just talk a little bit more, right? We're
A little bit?
Most content creators are probably women. Most content creators who have talking head content is probably women. Because women are going to be vulnerable. They're going to be a little open, right? Men are not. So if these men never speak up, then all we have is that woman's side.
That's what I'm
right?
saying. So we shouldn't do that. Even the Bible tells us the person who
But-
comes first seems right until you hit a second account.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is, like I said, I think a lot of it stems from the man. Just going back to the topic of the man, a lot of it. I'm not saying all of it, but I'm saying a lot of it could stem from the man not putting these women first. Because a lot of these women were women who had kids. A lot of these kids were very young. Okay, so if I'm thinking from my standpoint of going through postpartum, of going through hormonal changes and different things like that. And if you have a husband who is not understanding to any of this, and they're not doing research to understand that, then these men are going to give up and they're going to say, this is just excuses. This is just excuses. And then they're going to, shut off or leave, right? And she's going crazy. But I think it is a growing concern that women are going through this.
Which
now,
I
mind
think-
you, I will say it is mostly white people who are going through this. But I do see some black people in the mix as well. So I'm saying that I feel like it is concerning. It is alarming. I will say black men do love their women a little bit better and a little bit longer. That doesn't mean that black men are 100%, scot-free at all. But it is a growing concern that that's happening.
Okay, so let me reposition my argument here. I'm not trying to ignore what you do in the relationship, but I am pointing out that, as you mentioned, women is the term for it are higher in trait neuroticism, and basically all that means is that if you're left to your own devices, you tend to have more of the negative thoughts than the positive ones. Your mind tends to go to the worst, and so it's more imperative that you have something to channel your focus. But unlike men, you're not really interested in things all that much. You're more interested in people. That's why I say that it doesn't make sense for him to put you first. You really need to put him first, because that gives you something to focus on. And while you're focusing on him, you're going to have less of those thoughts, because it's going to activate that oxytocin in your brain, because you're following a biological thing. But you can look that up if you don't believe me.
I'm not saying I do.
The other side to your point is, I would say this. Hear me out. As a guy, and the other guys in the chat who are going to see this, you're going to know what I'm talking about. If you've ever been the second guy, you know that it's a lot of men out here who absolutely love and put their wives first. And they raising somebody else's kid, and you done seen them do crazy lying to their face. So don't fall for it's not it. I'm not saying you don't treat her well, but you cannot do that. It does not operate that way. This may be the thing you don't want to hear, but that's the truth about female attraction. It don't work that way.
I have a question.
It's like a kid you always give candy to.
What does it mean? Because you had said if she is basically serving him, or if she's like, I guess, spending her time occupying, doing things for him. What does that look like in a 12-hour day?
Okay, so in a 12-hour day, you're gonna take out 6 to 8 hours for sleep, and then you're going.
I'm talking about the time that we're up. I'm just talking about.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. You did say 12 hours. I'm overthinking 24. So during that period, you need time for yourself. So this is that time you spend going to the gym. This is that time you spend working on your journal. This is that time you spend, getting your nail done, whatever it is, that therapeutic stuff you do. Because you need time away from me, too. The rest of that time, how can I make this work better for him? Is it maybe I cook something? Maybe it's, man, we ain't got to spend no time together lately. Let me think up some places. Let me just see what he doing right now. Because I know I ain't got nothing to do, but if I text him, he probably gonna have something funny to say. He might not even answer, but you still kind of like the experience of waiting to see if he's gonna respond to you. That. Is it something I could get for him? Finding out, well, I've been on the road all day. Such and such has been crazy. I ain't had a chance to eat. Now you got something all of a sudden you really want to do. Let me go grab my baby something to eat. Mm-hmm. That is going to keep you out of those negative thoughts and is going to help you to be better because it's going to involve you more in what he's doing.
So I think.
I just want to respond back to this. So I don't see anything wrong with that. That is a man putting a woman first, especially if she's able to do those things. From what you were saying earlier, I was getting the girl on the floor like, sir, what do you need? Anything else you need? Like weird stuff.
Man, you say obedience and people get crazy. And I
was like, what is she doing all day serving you? Like, what does that look like? Because it sounded like she was just like waiting at the door. Oh, there you go, like a dog. It was just like that's what I was getting. I'm sorry, were you getting that? Like he kept saying, I'm like, if you're at work, then what is she? What is it? But that is putting the woman first.
No,
so I don't find
beautiful.
anything wrong with that because I do believe women. That means you're taking care of it. She's going to get her a pedicure, stuff like that. Maybe getting her hair did or whatever those things is. That's her being taken care of. That's her being put first. That is a woman who is living in, I should say, a rather relaxed, soft life, right? Then she come home and then I'm going to clean up, do this, whatever. I'm going to wash clothes. I'm going to make food. I'm going to plan a date night or whatever. I'm going to make sure when he comes home, he is relaxed. I'm going to make sure when the kids come home, they are relaxed. That is a woman who has time.
Here's the problem. That's not normal.
Okay. It's not normal.
That's the reason I'm having this conversation. To you, that sounds reasonable. But I'm saying that is not normal in relationships.
But then that means that that means two things. Either, because it all falls back, honestly, to the man. Is the man providing that life for her to do that? Now, if he's not and says she's a woman that has to work or whatever, we understand that situations that some people have to do work. They have to work 2 people in a household, right? 2 incomes. But in that case, what is she doing on a weekend? Are you allowing her time to herself without the kids just so she can kind of decompress and then she come home and she can make everything a whole lot better? A lot of men don't do that.
So, well, I mean, I don't necessarily think I need to allow her time away from the kids. I think that if she's planning it out, she'll be able to figure that out.
Some men don't allow.
I also think that we can communicate and work that part. Yeah, go ahead.
So Leslie King, she brought up a good question. I was thinking I think the whole time we were just playing semantics with our term, putting the woman first, right? So when I say put that woman first, I kept saying prioritize because that's what I think putting a woman first is, prioritizing her. Mm-hmm. So you got your job, you have your friends, you have all of this stuff, right?
Right.
So if your wife needs something and your friend needs something,
right?
Your job needs you,
right?
But your wife needs you. Mm-hmm. Who you showing up for?
What's the wife need?
That's a good question. So the need.
Now you see why she can't be first.
No.
That's exactly why. Because I got to ask that question.
No.
I got to ask that question.
Let me explain. if the wife wants you, you identify if there's really a need.
Right.
You would, because sometimes, I mean, she could say, "Hey, I want you to come home," right?
Right.
You know, she may think it's a need because she's just missing you,
Right.
But you're like,
But I know it's good for her to miss me
we actually
sometimes.
have to get this money,
Right.
so that I can pay these bills. So that's not you neglecting her. You're still prioritizing her because you like, I have to pay these bills so that you can get the things that you need.
Right.
This is
There's just stuff in front of her. That's all I'm arguing.
That's not putting the job before her.
Yes, it is.
So listen,
It's
listen.
open-
I'm about to give you another scenario.
Okay.
If my kids are saying, "I'm hungry, I want you here,"
Right.
and I go out and I'm like, "No, I gotta go out and go bring this food back to you." Did I prioritize my trip to go get the food, or did I prioritize my kids?
Wait. Okay. I don't know if that.
I need to
works
make
as
a
well.
trip. No, it does.
Wait.
Listen,
Which
I'ma
trip?
say it
Is this a
again.
business trip?
No. I need to make this trip to go get the food for my kids.
But if you weren't going to give them the food, you wouldn't have to do the trip. Is my point.
What?
I think you made an analogy, but your road didn't go nowhere.
No. So we need to pay bills, right?
Right.
I need to go to work, right?
Okay, so
I
you
can
are
pay
going to
bills,
work.
right?
So you are going to
No,
work.
I'm not talking about going to work. Follow me.
I'm trying.
Follow me. We don't have food in the house.
Okay.
I need to go and get food.
Right.
But my kids want me right now.
Okay.
So am I not prioritizing them if I leave and take my trip to go get the food?
I mean, you kind of neglecting them if you leave them by themselves. I'm being facetious. You're right. You're right. I'm being facetious. That said, again, I just don't think this is the greatest analogy. But in this scenario, you're having to do one thing for them. But I'm looking at it from the standpoint of if your kids are like, I need you
don't
right
work,
now.
You don't work for your wife?
I don't think it makes sense for that to be the primary or one of the top reasons that I work.
So what would be the priority? What would be the primary reason you would work?
I think primarily I work because that's what I was made to do. I just think that's just what men do. It'd be really difficult just to sit around and not do anything.
You think you were made to work?
I think I was meant to build. I was meant to provide value. That's what men are. That's what we do.
So that don't mean you have to. That don't mean you were created to go to your corporate job.
I mean, if I enjoy what I do, I mean, I'm not saying that I was born to work at McDonald's, but if you build a craft, you enjoy what you do, you gotta put food on the table.
Okay, let's rewind a little bit because I did want to touch on this. Earlier, you said the woman has to put you first.
Yes.
Right? Was that your way of saying that you can't put her first because the woman has to put you first?
Correct.
I thought that's what I was sensing. So there is a way that we both could put each other first. In fact, I think that's the only way a marriage could last is if both parties are putting each other first.
Could I ask you a question and you tell me how you make it work in that scenario? So in the scenario where your particular needs or wants conflict, who wins?
Say that again?
When your needs or wants conflicts, who wins?
So no. So yeah, what she said. So now we have to take a logical approach.
Right.
So if what I'm saying is more logical, then we going with what I'm going with. If what she's saying is more logical, for the moment, we're going with whatever her need is.
Mm-hmm.
That's not us compromising our putting each other first. That's me acting out, me putting her first and her putting me first. Because at the end of the day, we're gonna agree to whatever need should be prioritized at that moment. That's what's gonna be prioritized.
Okay, so let me give you a scenario.
Not my thing. It's not her thing.
No, fair enough. I'll give you a scenario. She's 3 months into postpartum depression. You ain't had none in 6 months. How y'all resolve that issue?
Well, if it's 3 months, then half of that time I was actually not supposed to be doing anything, so it's not actually that long.
I mean, it's 6 months for him regardless.
6 months? How we went from 3 to 6?
Well, because later on in the pregnancy, oftentimes they tend to slow down.
Scenario is,
okay.
So you're basically saying like after she's been cleared to have sex.
Right, but she's still going through the depression.
3 months later, she's gone through depression, and
and you 6 months,
6 to 8 months.
You a saint right now, yes.
So you're saying I'm a unit,
about to be.
So you're saying at this point,
how y'all solve that?
We're gonna talk about it, and I'm gonna get some.
Yeah,
it's simple as that.
And also, it's like, okay.
Because it's just like if I went 3 months, I was really understanding.
But wait,
6 months.
Can I say?
I was really understanding.
Can I explain it?
Go ahead.
Basically, one, he'll bring it to my attention. But before he even bring it to my attention, he'll already recognize that emotionally I'm off. Mm-hmm. So what he's gonna try to do, and he's done this before, he's gonna see that, you know what? Let me try to help out more. And he's going to get in, and he's going to get in the field. He's going to help. He's going to relieve that load so that I don't, because at 3 months, you got milk stains and your boobs leaking all the time. You probably, especially if you're a first time mom.
Mm-hmm. I mean, feeding everybody else but me.
It's hard to even get in the shower because you're afraid to go, if you got multiple kids. You got to bathe all them, and then you got to be like, dang, I got to go take a bath myself. Because you're tired, overwhelmed. So what this man is going to do, and he's done it before, he's going to make sure that he's like, I'm going to take care of this. You don't worry about this. I'm going to do that. Do, boom, boom, boom. Now, I feel a little more at ease, right? So we're going to go ahead and try it, right?
So you're missing out on one thing, too.
Go ahead.
So I also did research. Mm-hmm. Because at the same time, I didn't want to neglect
1 second.
Her.
Herbalist. I'm trying, brother. I'm trying. Go ahead.
So I did my research. Not only that, but I got some herbalists. I got some teas from him.
So you drugged her?
No, this is natural herbs that help her to deal with the depression.
That sounds so much better. It's all natural.
What's funny, though, is he could drop the name of the herb, too. But the same herb that helps deal with the depression actually opens her hormones up to want to do something. Ex herbalist table. So immediately what I did was I did research. Not only did I do that, she'll tell you. I asked her to do research too. I say do research on what happens when a man goes a long period without sex. And we talked about it and we made it through. We actually went through that, and that was a hard phase for our marriage. But we worked that through.
I think what you're saying is great. I also think you're proving my point. You had to put his needs above yours in order for this to work.
Yeah, so that's the thing.
My point alone is that you can't be first. Because if it comes down to it, you're going to have to put his needs first. Is all I'm saying.
But at the same time.
That's my point.
At the same time, he led. That's what you're missing. He led by putting me first, by doing the research, by easing the workload. That's how he led. So when he led, it made it easy for me to walk in behind him and make sure that he was first, that his needs were also taken care of. Mm-hmm. That's what we're missing. So when, just like in the example, the beautiful scenario you gave of the woman doing the thing or whatever, you led in that example. You provided a way for her to be able to do these things, to live that soft life, to go to the gym, to get her nails done, so that in return, she's going to put you first as soon as you come home. As soon as you come home, you're first.
That's reciprocity.
So, yes. So that's the thing. It's not about, just put her first and then I'm just on the back burner. No. It's like I'm leading as a man, because the man should be leading, because we're talking about this submission thing, right? So, if I'm submitting to you, I hope you're leading me. I hope I'm not submitting to a man that's standing in the background.
Are you going to be obedient, though?
But are you leading? Because how can I be obedient to somebody that's not leading?
I'm just saying, I could have solved. We could have solved this issue.
Trying his best over there.
If I could have just said, "Hey, we need to take care of this," and you obediently came to the room, we wouldn't have had to go through all of this.
It sounds like you're saying you're not leading. Like, you have to lead an example first. When you do
lead an example, what does that even mean?
How you lead your kids. You got to lead by example.
No, it's not the same thing.
So let me read what Jasmine said.
There's going to be certain things. There's going to be certain experiences we're going to have.
Jasmine said men are leaders in a relationship. If he doesn't lead by putting her first, she would not follow by putting him first. Y'all will quickly end up on two different pages.
Exactly.
And back to what I said about
And I know all kind of women currently getting beat on that would that I would prove that ain't
back
true.
to what I said about the neuroscience.
What they doing?
They in relationships with men, treat them like crap. I'm sorry.
Back to the research with neuroscience. Our brains check every 4 seconds for safety.
Yes.
And according to those neuroscientists,
I'm glad you brought this back up.
Women's mind are a lot more advanced in that arena. So
interesting.
This is why women have security high on their priority list. So when we prioritize women, they feel like they are secure. If they feel like they're secure, then it makes room for them to do all of the things that you said that you think a woman should do for a man.
Fair enough. All right.
He's taking the glasses off. I'm nervous.
That's the glove.
All right. So here's the thing. Safety is an illusion. Hate to be the one to break it to you. He said women are more developed in this arena. I would say they're more sensitive in this arena.
I did not
and they
say
gotta
developed.
be. You kind of made it seem like it was a superpower. It's my time. Hold on. Safety is an illusion. Okay? Safety is an idea that protectors give the people they're protecting so that they can offload their worries onto their protectors. The danger is always there. It's the fact that somebody is protecting you that you get the illusion that there's not a threat there. So, that don't mean nothing. Of course she's scared. Everything out here is a threat. That's why men exist, to protect the women.
So if the woman that you were dating was masculine, I would say, you know what, you're right. But women are feeling individuals. So it's not about what you just said.
The masculine women feel
It's
too.
about how you feel. It's about how you make them feel.
That's why we tell them they're safe.
So if you make them feel safe, no, it's not. It's not about what you tell them. It's about how you make them feel. If you make them feel safe, then they're gonna be everything that you want them to be.
That's true.
But do you need to go out of your way to accomplish that? Is my question.
You consider
Let me say that. Hold on. Okay. I'm gonna give you a question and then I'm gonna let you come back at me. Have you ever had someone who felt safe around you without you doing anything out of the ordinary? Without you giving any special considerations for them? Just being in your presence made them feel safe. The way you conduct yourself, the people you hang around, made you feel safe to them.
Oh, I see what's going on. So you're talking about safe, like as far as like physical protection.
Well, what other safe are you talking about?
Safe like secure. I mentioned earlier, like
but secure in what? That I'm never gonna leave her?
Secure in this relationship.
Oh,
yeah.
never.
In the
never. That's the worst thing you can do.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah. I don't ever want you to think you got a green light to abuse me.
Oh no,
wait,
that's not.
You always go to the worst possible. Like,
I'm sorry.
This is.
I don't know what world y'all grew up in, but I've seen women hitting men my whole life.
Herbalist table say, how do you make them feel safe?
This is where it's coming from. This is coming from childhood, obviously.
Childhood?
Because you say you grew up seeing women hitting men your whole life. So you think
Sha'Carri Richardson just tried to get one arrested at the airport.
Then make sure you pick the right woman, Prime. Or women.
Nikki, I think you should be the one to answer that question. How do you make a woman feel safe?
I think you were already explaining it. Making her feeling secure in a relationship. Her feeling like, she is your wife or your girl, right? Like, it's like...
Hey, y'all, I just made it big. Jasmine, I got to shout you out.
Go ahead, read it.
I appreciate that. She said, I just looked up toxic in the dictionary and Prime's picture was there. I made it.
All right, pull up Prime.
Jasmine, we tried to get you on the show and you
you got it. But no,
you ain't
seriously,
here yet.
like you gotta. That woman needs to feel secure. Like if there's all right, there's these, and these are men speaking up, right? These are men, so this ain't coming from women because I know Prime gonna come at me. like this a man, he got this little funny video, and it's like, if he don't post you on your Facebook, he don't want you or something like that. If he don't do this or something,
he's simping. Mm-hmm.
Like it's a funny. No, it's actually funny, but it's real. It's
No, he's simping.
It can't be simping if you're married.
It's the way.
Yes, it is.
No, it's the way that.
Yeah, it is.
He's saying that if this man is doing these things, these are all examples of women not feeling secure or safe in a relationship, right? So feeling very vulnerable and open, like anything can happen at any moment. So he's just basically saying, if the man not doing this, if he's not doing that, and he's a man saying this. So if a man is saying this, then obviously there has to have some truth into it. He's just throwing out the playbook. That's all. So it's like we have to also understand that women do need to feel safe. It is very important that a woman feels safe and secure in a relationship. Why wouldn't you want your wife to feel safe and secure?
Now that's a question I can answer.
No, because don't you answer it, because you coming from childhood and women was beating on people back then. Look, I'm talking about in a situation.
She act like it ain't happening right now. Like Johnny Depp didn't just get off track. You're right.
No, like a woman that puts you first. You think a woman that puts you first, that shows you who she is, like you think you have to worry that you can't like pour into her? Like, I don't understand.
I think sometimes a woman can tell you she loves you, and she can also abuse you, stab you, and get you sent to jail.
But you have to go from not what she's saying, for which, like, it is a dating phase, right? Did you miss all that in a dating phase?
No, but you also told me during the point that you do something that you're biologically engineered to do, you can get postpartum depression for an indefinite amount of time, and then this new thing called postpartum rage. Okay. Last I checked, that sound dangerous.
No, but
it is.
It is, and that's because.
And so you can like literally wig out, and I'm gonna have to put you down. That's crazy.
I'm just saying this.
That's crazy.
This is what. Okay, but at the same time,
I think that's why it's being important to eat healthy.
So if you're educated on it, then you can do things where you can.
99 boxing. Sign up.
You can help her be prepared. There's things like placenta encapsulation. There's things like making sure she has the right vitamins in her system.
No, I'm not a doctor. I'm not trying to. What?
If this is somebody you love, this is exactly why they say when women get sick, men leave. Because you can't even do the research to make sure that she's good. No, I'm just saying.
That's crazy.
You can't even try to step into a nurturer role. It's like that's out of my nature. I can't do it. No, you can do hard things. Like, you can do it. If a woman could step out and be a provider because a man left her, or because of that, and she could be a single mother doing these things.
Wait. She's not stepping out being a provider if a man left her. She's getting a job because she ain't got one.
She's still being a provider. If a man wants to stay home and he's not working.
Okay, but that man don't get respect.
But at the same time, she's
in the same way, the man who abandons his wife who's in the hospital don't get respect by society.
Prime.
Like, he don't get credit for that.
Prime, you really don't understand that. It's like you.
Like, we look down on him for that. Could you be cool with a man and he's gonna divorce his wife who's going through cancer right now?
But there's men that do it. There's actually studies that show that men are most likely to leave their woman when they're dealing with a serious illness because they quote unquote that.
We do need to check the demographics.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to show me them numbers.
So I don't know. Like, we don't know people personally.
I personally know. I do. I personally know a black person that did that. So. And you actually know them too. I'll tell you after the show this to protect their identity, but I will tell you that after the show.
Yeah, put them on blast.
I'm not
I'll say this. I know of at least 20 such situations where the husband has been through multiple life-threatening situations. And I would say 19 of them, he was faithful through the whole period.
What? I'm confused. Wait, what? Repeat that.
So whether the woman had cancer, whether she had kidney failure,
he was during life-threatening.
He was there for her while she was going through it.
So how many people do you know? How many men do you know that actually stuck through it though for the women?
How many? I'm saying there are men that do.
There are a lot.
Like,
there's far more.
Yeah, it's
like,
far more.
No, but I was going from.
Name a bunch.
No, I was only going from what he said. Because what he had said, that's the only reason why I brought that up.
No, but I had told you to check the demographics on that, and then you say, "Well, I know black people."
But you knew one person.
I was telling you the numbers is not the same for our demographic. because it's different when you grow up in the struggle and this is all you got. It's different.
And I do
It affects us
but
differently.
I was only speaking to something that Prime said earlier. And
Okay,
that's why
I just wanted to clear the air because this is a Black Love Club. I don't want people to think that black men are straight up leaving women when they get sick.
Right.
No,
we ain't doing that.
I'm just what I'm saying. I'm speaking to what Prime said because it's like he was making it seem, and I forgot exactly what he said, but it's like basically Prime is speaking from an example of bad women. But if it's a good woman and you know it's a good woman, why wouldn't you pour into her? Why wouldn't you invest in her? Why wouldn't you give her that life? Because obviously
Can I answer that question?
The woman that you had that beautiful scenario, was she a good woman or was she knocking you upside your head?
In that scenario, she'd be a good woman.
She's a good woman, so that's what we're speaking
But can I
about,
answer your question as to why you don't do that?
Why?
Because in the same way that you could have a good-natured dog, a good puppy, if you overindulge it, if you don't teach it discipline, it will grow up to bite you. It will be unruly.
Discipline.
People are no different.
That's an animal.
We animals too.
So that means you can't. You are afraid. So what I'm hearing.
What I'm saying is your nature will corrupt the situation. Yes.
No. So what is the nature? So the nature of the woman you're saying is corrupted.
What I'm saying is women are tend to be more. What have you done for me lately? Sorry, I didn't mean to hit the mic.
Men tend to be like that too. I'm just saying because that's what you were saying earlier.
So I would say, on average, women tend to be more, what have you done for me lately? Men are typically more duty based.
On average, I think men that speak like you are.
So that would be
like
fair. That would be fair and it's consistent with women always searching for safety. Desire security more than men. So
100%.
That would be fair.
Appreciate that argument. I'm not saying this to be a negative thing about women. I'm saying it as and part of that is because your chemistry is different every day. So it's hard to linearly connect yourself all the way across the month because you feel differently. What happens to you on Monday might feel differently than you on Tuesday. So you become a lot more, what have you done for me lately? You're a lot more in the moment.
You don't think most men want to actually?
I'm not saying that they don't. That's my point. The problem with that is that whenever you do something repeatedly, just because you're doing it, it becomes an expectation. It becomes an entitlement. Women like to earn their affection, but they're used to everything being given to them. That's why the simps that'll give them everything they don't respect, because they know they don't deserve what they're getting, but they're going to take it. But they don't deserve it, so they cannot respect that man. So even if you find a good wife, if you spoil her, she will turn rotten because it's in her nature.
No. So that's why. So as a man, I do understand that's possible. But I think as a man, you bring that up. When you start, you're supposed to know your wife to the point where you are seeing the shift. And you're supposed to be able to say, hey, look, you're acting different. But you never changed up. You're still giving her all of these things. Mm-hmm. She's acting different now. Mm-hmm. Y'all need to be able to have that conversation. Look, I want to keep giving these things for you. But at this point, I feel like because I'm giving you all of these things, you're just expecting me to give you these things without any reciprocity. Because it's realistic, because what you are arguing is against the woman's nature. You're saying woman is.
No, I'm saying what you're doing is against the woman's nature.
No. So what I'm saying is you're saying most women are like this.
Yes.
So whether it's nature or nurture is really what you're going to have to encounter. Mm-hmm. So if you know that you're going to have to encounter it, then you need to figure out how you navigate it as a leader. You got to figure out how you navigate around this unless you don't want to deal with women.
You don't put her first.
And I'm not saying that you don't want to. I wouldn't do that.
No, I respect. But do you do that by not putting her first? You do that by not doing all of that elaborate stuff every day just because you
I
can.
don't think that's the solution. I think that's a man going into survival mode. Well, we tell women don't go into survival mode. We try to pull you out.
Why am I going into survival mode?
That's survival mode because I just asked you. Do you think that men naturally want to give women things? And you said yes.
Right.
And now you are saying you got to stop taking the stuff back. Stop giving them so much.
Right.
You're in survival mode.
How am I in survival mode?
Because this is you making accommodations to survive this relationship.
No, that's not what I'm doing.
You're going against your nature.
No, what I'm doing is not overloading my side of the relationship. That's all I'm doing.
Oh, well, if given is overloading because it's like now it's causing you like financial hurt or something like that, then that's not wise.
I mean, financial, mental, physical, like all I'm basically saying is like I'm not gonna put myself in a deficit for you.
Right.
That don't make sense.
No,
in
I
order
agree.
for us to get the best out of this,
Right.
you need the best out of me.
Right.
So that means I have to give 100.
Right.
So it don't make sense for me to put myself into a negative for you.
Right, and I agree. I think we all agree.
That's why you can't be
you
first.
You giving your 100 is putting her first.
Yeah, but so the thing is, no person is just going to keep giving, man or woman is going to keep giving to somebody and giving to somebody if they are not being properly.
I disagree. Men will do it all day, every day.
Okay, well then, that's those men. But I'm just saying, it's not healthy just to keep giving and just giving and giving. No one's saying that you should do that, right? Some men, if that's their jazz, then that's their jazz.
Jaheim sung a whole song about it.
No, that song was not about that. That song was, you gotta go look at the lyrics.
It
right?
said, put that woman first.
No, he's saying that because he did not put her first. He neglected her. So he's saying that I should have put that woman first. And because I did not put her first, she did not put me first. And she started veering off in what you expect. Because she wasn't getting put first, so why would she continue doing the same things, right? So, you're giving an example of, first you gave me an example of a woman that you were putting first and she was putting you first, and now you're giving me an example of like, it's just crazy up in this house.
What I want to know is like how could you expect a woman to submit to you if you can't put her first?
Well, I think in order for a woman to properly submit to you, I think she would have to come into the arrangement understanding she's not first. She's got to come in understanding that she's a part of what's going on, that she's not like the main character. And so by doing that, it's not about oppressing this woman or taking anything away from it. It's about not creating unrealistic, unsustainable entitlements at the beginning.
You know what? Let's switch it up. Would you prioritize your woman?
Of course.
Well, we can leave it at that, because I think you saying like you think what we're saying is like,
I don't want you to talk
wants.
these men into simping for these women, because there's no amount of money, there's no amount of time, there's no amount of how much I love you that you are going to be able to give to a woman and satisfy her.
Right.
That is not how women work.
Right.
But what you will do is you will deplete yourself to a point to where you are no longer giving her the man that she wanted in the first place.
Right.
And
let
me respond to Herbalist Table, because he said that's literally putting the woman first by going out and getting the bag, taking care of your body, eating right, etc. Yeah, that's all things.
Yeah,
but
right.
that's also you putting you first too. That's taking care of you, which everybody needs to do. Everybody needs to take care of them, right? But also being in such a position where if we're both doing that for each other, we just gotta always come back to the table, have a conversation. I don't think things can change when you have kids. I will say that things can change. You should expect things to change when you have kids. Do not think that the woman can give the same level of when she's going through either having a new kid, first time kid, or even having a second kid, because now she's in a rebalancing. She's trying to rebalance the life. She's trying to get it back on track.
You know what it is?
Prime.
Sister wives.
No. Because No, I don't. That is not it.
I know it's an easy solution, but you don't want it.
Sister wives is I'm gonna tell you, is a weak excuse just to say basically I don't want to put the work in for the other wife. That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna say it. That's because every time you bring it up, it's from a position of you not trying to help out.
Couldn't they make the same argument back at you though?
It's like, why can't you just try to help out?
I mean, couldn't you just try and pretend a little bit?
Pretend about what?
That you want to give it to me?
No, it's not.
You don't got
I'm
it.
just
Why
saying,
you gotta say it like that though? I mean,
if a woman is
I'm just saying, ain't that the same thing she asking me to do?
No, it's just like that's what it comes back. It all comes back to the man at the end of the day, that he must lead first by example. Oh, I see that you are overwhelmed. Let me help you out. Man,
hey, a spinal reconnection or recalibration might help.
That is it.
Maybe I've been trying to help you this whole time. You just been fighting the medicine.
No,
y'all the chat going crazy. Y'all getting this chat in this chat.
Somebody. Is that
Mr. King?
Do you consider yourself romantic? No, he does not consider himself.
If not, what do you call yourself?
He considered himself, I don't know, Hitler or something.
Wow, Hitler! Wow, that's so crazy.
Very
here's
very obedient, very submissive.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. To me, this is like when you have let a child overindulge on sweets their whole life. And then they get to be, 285 pounds in the 6th grade. And they tell you that they want to be an NBA player. And you look down at him and say, I don't want to tell you that this ain't going to work. But what I can tell you is that you're going to have to give up these sweets. And he argues with you about how difficult life will be without his sweets. How much enjoyment he gets out of his sweets. How good of a child he'd be if he just get his sweets. And you just sitting over there thinking to yourself, but you 200 pounds in the 6th grade. You're not going to get tall enough to go to the NBA eating your sweets. So my point is that you have been overindulged in most cases your entire life. And so when I say this, you think of it as I'm saying we're taking something from you. What I am saying is that part of the reason you have this entitlement, part of the reason you are struggling in the way that you do is you are used to too much. It's like a child that is always overeating. They grow into an adult that overeats. It's a habit you have to break. And so I don't think you need to be as acknowledged as you are. I don't think you need to be as celebrated as you are. Most people are normal. Most of what we do, we all gotta do. Most of us ain't out here doing special stuff. I don't need to put you on a pedestal. All I'm saying is I can treat you with respect. I can love you. I can take care of you without putting you above me.
Nobody said that.
You keep going back to that.
But to put you first means I'm putting you above me.
That's why I said we got to switch the definition. But it seemed like everybody in the chat, literally everybody in the chat, understand what we mean by putting first. But I get it because you're trying to protect the men, who are coming in and they're listening and they're thinking, oh yeah, let me put this woman first, and they use their definition of putting the woman first, and then then she leaves them for the man who treats them a whole lot worse. We've seen that happen a lot.
I believe men that only have been either through traumatic things, have only seen traumatic things, view putting the woman first as that, right? I feel like if you come in from a different perspective, a healthier lens, and you don't see it as that, I think we gotta come from, and I know Prime don't like this word, but we gotta come from a more of a healed or working on us version to see what it actually means. It does not mean to neglect yourself, because the thing is, if you pour into her, she's only going to pour back into you. So it's never going to be a situation of those extremes. Yeah, there are those situations. I'm not saying there isn't, but at the same time, I think we have to be very mindful of what we put out there, because then what if there are good men, that'll be like, oh yeah, let me stop putting her first because I'm doing too much, and then he switch up on her, and she's like, how did the switch up? But she was still pouring into him, but he's afraid that if he keep doing it, then eventually. But I do want to say this: most black women have not lived that life of what you was talking about, having everything given to them. Most black women have not lived that life. So it's just like, no.
I don't agree with you.
You know
No,
what
that is very true.
Yakadashim said, you should see your woman as yourself if you love her. And I agree with that too. That's another biblical approach. Like, you really do become one. So, and like I said earlier, I think the only way for a marriage to work is if both people prioritize each other. Because if my wife always prioritizes my needs and I always prioritize her needs, then we never need for anything.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. I don't disagree with what you just said. I just disagree with your premise. So correct me on this analogy, or correct me on this phrase saying. Does it not say that the woman is to love her husband the way the man is to love the woman the way Jesus loved the church, and vice versa?
What's vice versa?
Well, the way the church loved Jesus, wouldn't that be the obvious exchange?
Okay, so you're talking about, let's pull it up, Ephesians 5:25.
That's what the Apostle Paul said.
All right, so it says, husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it. So basically, that's talking about husbands, lead your wives, love your wives. So that means
hold on. Before you add that part,
first. Go ahead.
So before you add that, so I just want to make sure it would be fair and reasonable to make the assertion that also means the wife is loving Jesus the way the church loves Jesus, right?
Yeah, but at the same time,
Hold on.
Keep going.
So with that said, how many gods does the church serve? How many people does the church pray to? Who does the church pay tithes to? Whose rules does the church follow?
They follow the pastor, but keep going.
See, now you're being semantics.
No,
hold
I'm just saying.
But you know what I'm getting at. Now.
Okay, keep going.
So let's switch this a different direction, which you're really going to appreciate. Is Jesus required to only speak in one church? Is Jesus required to only interact with one religion?
That was a bad example.
Terrible. That was very terrible.
You know the Bible does say it's only one church, right?
It's one bride.
I remember in the Bible they talked about Jesus talking in front of multiple congregations.
I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not against your polygamous stance. I'm not. But I wouldn't even get into my argument with this on a podcast anyway. But I would say that's a terrible argument. And it's almost time.
See, I wouldn't even take it into the polygamy standpoint.
But no, because you're saying husband love your wives as Christ loved the church. But also, if we're going to Christ, if he wants to take it there, what happened when Christ was struck? He said, turn the other cheek, right? What happened if somebody was to take your jacket? So that means if this woman is doing you wrong, just let her do you wrong.
No. He had a very specific thing. He said, if you're a woman crazy, go live in the desert. It's better. That's what he said.
That was in Proverbs and that was in Jesus. But and it wasn't go live in the desert. It was like it's better to live on a rooftop instead of in a house with a nagging woman. But
same thing.
I'm just saying, and I understand, but we're not coming from the perspective of that your wife is nagging. It's just
she just going to abuse you and be a good wife. What?
We're coming.
What?
No, but you wanted to take it here and take it out of context. So
you haven't challenged my point.
I am. Because it still says...
Because it sounds like Jesus has a level of ownership over the church.
And gave himself for it.
But doesn't Jesus have a level of ownership over the church?
You want to be an owner. Why you always got to take it to these really strong terms?
I'm trying to make sense as to why it's obedience.
Oh my gosh. No, but at
I love you, Kyle.
Let's take it there. All right. So say that. Say you do have ownership, okay? Mm-hmm. Say that, all right? But at the same time, just as though this is a lost soul, this woman is weaker. So let's say this. Because you know she's weaker, you understand that she's going to have some flaws in that sometimes. So what you do as a good leader, you help her back up. That's what Christ would do if we're going to take it to Christ. Christ will help you back up. So that's literally what he says.
Yeah, the problem.
He didn't even bash the woman that was The woman that was sleeping with the men. So he said he without sin cast the first stone. So that's what I'm saying, Prime. He without sin cast the first stone. Because you're not perfect either. So you can't expect that woman to be perfect. We should be working together as a unit. Not such so.
Oh, wait. Herbalist say keep reading.
Keep reading?
Yeah, keep reading. That he might sanctify. So let's go back.
Okay, I can read it.
Okay.
Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the watering of the washing of the water by the word, that he might present himself to a glorious church, not having spot, wrinkle, or blemish, or such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish. So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies, that he that loved his wife loved himself. For no man has ever hated his own flesh, but nourished it and cherished it, even as the Lord the church. For we are members of his body, of his flesh, and of his bones. For this cause...
Hey, we can stop right there.
Okay, go ahead.
We can stop right there.
Right.
Ladies, I feel like you
black
just made
women,
my point.
as always, we love you.
What?
We love you.
No,
The show's over.
No, but go ahead, explain.
It was nothing to explain. This is what we've been saying the whole time.
No, I know. I was saying
So-
explain to him. It said,
we are members of his body. Wait, where is it?
So men also.
Oh, so all men. This is verse 28, y'all. This is Ephesians 5:28. Y'all. This is why she reads, because my eyes is jumping. So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loves his wife, loveth himself.
So
I've never argued about not loving.
I
No,
know,
this is
but
what
you-
we
but
were
you
saying.
did say that
Prioritizing
you
your wife looks like. You don't. Do you put anybody else before yourself?
Anybody else
Do
before
you
myself?
put anybody before yourself? Would you put your job before yourself? Would you put your friends before yourself?
No.
Exactly. So that means that your wife has that number one spot before all of these other things. You prioritize your wife.
yeah, but I think this is a beautiful
Again,
example.
So I feel like you trying to trap me into semantics,
No,
which I
'cause
feel
you-
like is underhanded,
You
but
said
it's
you
cool.
was Christ.
It's cool.
You said you was Christ. So
Whoa, don't throw that on me.
Okay, not
Hold
not
on,
like
hold
that.
on.
Not
I
like
never said that.
But you
Hold
kept
on.
saying,
Y'all,
well, then
we
you
gonna
was
cut it
Christ.
just like this. He said he was Christ.
I did not say that.
Y'all gonna have to watch the whole thing to find out if this is true or not.
But no, but seriously, you did say that, okay, Christ, but Christ gave himself. He gave of himself. He put himself
Have I not
first.
described giving myself?
But you wouldn't sacrifice yourself.
I described sacrificing.
No, you didn't. You literally said, I can't keep giving everything. I got to pull back because then if I keep giving her everything, she's going to overthink
Giving you
me.
stuff isn't a sacrifice.
No, but a sacrifice is to give yourself no matter what because you love that person, right? Now, I'm not
What?
saying... No, okay, no. But,
No,
but
it's
wait,
not.
Wait, hold up.
Cut the footage. No.
I'm not saying that.
Wait, so I'm not saying I'm not saying that you should pour out like that. I'm not saying because that's not your.
So you basically saying women deserve less too?
No, I'm not saying women deserve less. I'm just saying look at who you picked.
What?
And if you feel like she's not given the same as she was given before, let's try to understand why. Let's try to see, because why would we just leave someone who has been taking care of you and loving you? Something must be off.
I agree with you.
That's fact.
I
Yeah.
definitely
That's all
agree
I'm
with
saying.
you. Yeah, I'm not advocating that you just drop a woman who you've been rocking with for a while. I'm arguing that you don't make her feel secure, that you to the point that you're never going to leave, because that's going to allow her to get lazy. That's going to allow her to get complacent. That is going to allow her to take you for granted. And that's what women do.
No.
That's why they get bored.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like when you see that the woman is getting to that point, you have to remind her. But you know what? We got to close it because I'm saying I'm saying this from my peripheral.
We're going to have to do this again.
No, but
We're going to have
this
to do
was
it
actually
again.
A really, really good conversation.
It was.
So, and I appreciate everybody.
What y'all say? Let us know in the chat. Should we do a part 2? Put that man first. Part 2. Put that woman first.
Put us first. I don't know.
But I think that's what it really was all about. It was, and to conclude, I think it was really, it's not, I respect Prime for his position. We got to make sure that we're not telling men to overwater their soil, because that could be dangerous. Women could switch up. But I would say, if you've been married to a woman and you notice she's starting to switch up, that's what we as men, we have to communicate instead of going out into the world or into the streets and saying, you know what, she not going to do it, then I'm going to get it somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Communicate that to your wife. Let her know what's going on. Let her know what's real so that y'all can, I mean, we've had that problem. We've had situations where we had to communicate. We communicated. It's like, oh, this was going on. And we navigated through it.
Yep.
So, but with that said, black women, always remember, black women,
We love you.
And black men, we love you. And black child, you are golden. So until next time, you guys.
Put that man first.
No.